Good afternoon, everyone. Great to be back again. And we thank God for the privilege to gather as we continue on the subject of blessing. I want to remind ourselves that blessings are initiated by God for the empowering of us to be and to become. Blessings are supernatural in nature and they come by way of words and are activated uh, also by way of actions. And blessings have this far reaching impact on anyone. The blessings of God are such that everyone can become a beneficiary of it. So, for example, when God blesses Abraham, he says that through him all the nations of the earth will be blessed. That means when God positions you as one that releases blessings, everyone can become a recipient of that which you carry. Now, I want us to go to Genesis 48, and this is when Jacob is older and he would request that audience with his grandchildren. So we read Genesis 48:13 to 16. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim with his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh with his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near to him. Then Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it on Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, guiding his hand knowingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has fed me all my life long till this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads. Let my name be be named upon them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into the multitude in the midst of the earth. Then I want to drop to verse 19. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his descendants shall become a multitude of nations. So he blessed them that day, saying, By you Israel will bless, saying, May God make you as Ephraim and Manasseh. And thus he set Ephraim before Manasseh. So this was a story, an incredible story of a scene where a blessing is being enacted, where a grandfather is blessing his grandchildren. And the interesting thing he does is that he does not bless them as grandchildren. He changes their generation. He fast forwards them, makes them recipients of a blessing, and making them as sons, one. And the second blessing that he releases over them is to rearrange their birth order in terms of the blessing. Usually the firstborn is giving the blessing of the first, which is supposed to carry out the mandate of the whole family, and then his second is the blessing that everyone else gets. But he swaps their places, and he guides his hands, placing his right hand over the younger by way of crossing his hands. And as he does this, his son Joseph is saying, No, dad, no, dad, you're making a mistake. But he said he guided his hands knowingly. Now you have to understand that Israel or Jacob had been also a recipient of a blessing by way of his position, birth order being rearranged. And that's another story for another day. But he's coming with the acute sense that in terms of how God arranges blessing, it's not always going to function according to the birthing systems or the natural orders or what we think it ought to be, but according to the calendar of God and the purposes of God and what the people involved have adjusted their lives to be. So the blessings are given according to the appropriate natures and characters so that they can carry out the intended purposes. The blessings are not supposed to be just accorded us because of, but are accorded us because we are in line with the agenda of God. God is expecting every one of us as we become recipients of blessings or we are put in positions to release blessings on others, that we tune to the mandate of heaven, to the frequencies of what God desires done so that we can key in and get people into their right position. What Jacob did that day, or Israel did that day, was that he set up an ordinance by what he did. And he says that by that, may the whole of Israel now begin to bless by what he did. The blessings that are on your life and on my life are intended not only to release us into who we ought to be and what we ought to do, but it also sets us up to establish a template for others. For some of us, it will become a covenant among others. So I pray today that the blessings of God that are due you, according to as you have lived your life, according to as you have ordered your conversation aright, according to as you have conducted business with God, may God release the appropriate blessing that will remain upon you. And I love the fact that the blessings cannot be broken. And let that which God has intended for you to do and accomplish, may it be done in its time. I release you as a blessed child of God. May you fulfill the mandate of God over your life. And may the earth rejoice because you are a person that has come into time and is fulfilling your mandate for such a time as this. The Lord bless you, the Lord keep you, and the Lord himself watch over you and fulfill his desire in your life. Amen. Have a phenomenal